Welcome to Global and Media Stocks to Watch. I'm Michael Suardo. I'm speaking today with George Reed. He's a Senior Vice President for Corporate Development at Canada's Star Diamond Corporation. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here.
Is that a huge diamond right there behind you?
Yes, that's the most unusual stone. It's a triangular diamond called a macle, M-A-C-C-L-E, and it's two diamond crystals that are twinned together. It's unusual, but I'd like to talk about a most unusual project, so I think it's highly appropriate.
Okay, well, I think macle is going to be the word for the day. Now, Star Diamond's biggest project is in central Saskatchewan. It's called Fort à la Corne. And I understand this area is particularly well known for its kimberlite deposits. For those of us who are not geologists, a quick primer. Kimberlites are a type of rock that is formed by lava that is cooled and solidified. And most importantly, for our purposes today, where there is kimberlite, there are often diamonds. So George, tell us, are there a lot of kimberlites around that Fort à la Corne project?
Certainly, the Fort à la Corne is a very extensive diamond district in central Saskatchewan, some 3 hours drive from our office in Saskatoon. There are approximately 69 kimberlites over which we hold a contiguous block of mineral claims. And the 69 kimberlites have all been drilled, and most of them have been shown to contain diamonds.
That's really something else. So there's definitely kimberlites in the area. And from what you're saying, your project as well, also already you've identified quite a few kimberlites too.
Yes, we have within our mineral claims, we have over 69 bodies, and there are two of the bodies on which we Star and Orion South, on which we have done very extensive evaluation. But I think we're going to be asked some specific questions about that in a moment.
All right, well, not long ago, one of the giants of the mining world, Rio Tinto, it held a majority stake in the Fort à la Corne project. Today, though, it is wholly owned by Star Diamond. I spoke with your colleague, Ewan Mason, about that acquisition not too long ago. Viewers, you can find that interview in the Stocks to Watch channel on YouTube. Just search for Star Diamond there. George, I want to ask you this, though. How is this acquisition, how has it impacted your operations? Have you been able to streamline them since taking over full ownership?
Yes, certainly. Junior companies such as Star Diamond Corporation have incredible maneuverability to make quick decisions and to initiate work very quickly and conduct extensive programs, provided we can raise sufficient dollars to do the work. But we are optimistic about this. In acquiring the project from Rio Tinto, Rio Tinto conducted a very successful program where they drilled some extensive bulk sample holes with a trench cutter rig. They extracted a lot of kimberlite. They recovered the diamonds from that kimberlite in a state-of-the-art processing plant with a very modern circuit, and very, very high-quality diamond data was produced over and above the data that we have from the past. And we are now in the process of integrating Rio's data with ours and to the benefit of the project.
All right, so definitely you have a lot of great data as a result of the historical relationship with Rio Tinto. And I understand there's good infrastructure around the project as well, thanks to them, paved roads and electrical power grid. What impact do you expect this to have on costs? I presume it should save you a good bit of money.
So the project is, we should remind ourselves initially that the project is not remote like many other Canadian diamond projects where they are served by an ice road that opens for a short window in the winter and trucks in all the provisions and particularly diesel to run the on-site power station. The Fort à la Corne is completely different. It is road accessible 365 days of the year. It's 20 kilometers off paved highway. A future mine would have an all-weather road built to the site, but presently we can get in and out in a four-wheel drive vehicle 365 days of the year. We are also in proximity to the Saskatchewan power grid. That power grid is served locally by two hydroelectric power stations, which are on the Saskatchewan River just downstream from the project near the town of Nipawin. And certainly accessibility for staff and infrastructure to be driven to site. Accessibility to the power grid will greatly reduce the cost of the construction of a future mine and the future operation of such a mine.
Now, when it comes to mining exploration projects, before you can start digging diamonds out of the ground, there's a lot you have to do. You have to complete a preliminary economic assessment, a pre-feasibility study. Where are you right now when it comes to those key milestones?
We must understand that there has been an extensive history of work on this project, spanning over a period of about 3 decades. There has been a lot of work done, including core drilling, large diameter drilling, and underground bulk sampling, particularly on the Star and Orion South kimberlites, which are at the southeast end of this chain of kimberlites. This work has shown very valuable diamond populations within these bodies and a huge volume of potential ore. As we work towards the development of a mine, we first need to build a revised resource estimate. Why I say revised is we have published this in the past, but we now want to integrate the very good data that was produced by Rio Tinto into our resource estimate, and we believe this will strengthen the resource estimate. Based on the resource estimate, which we aim to publish very shortly, we will build a pre-feasibility study. And remembering that when people hear pre-feasibility study, they think that's years and years of work. We do not believe that's the case. We have done a lot of work in the past. We are using similar consultants and contractors to do this work. There is no additional field work required for the pre-feasibility study, and therefore we can proceed very quickly. We would aim to get this completed in 2025 and move immediately into the feasibility study, which is the required documentation on which we could get ultimately a mining lease and build a mine.
So a lot of work to do, but is moving quickly. I want to change tack now and talk about social responsibility. When I hear diamond mining, I have to admit one of the first things that comes to mind is blood diamonds. For our younger viewers, if you haven't watched this 2006 film with Leonardo DiCaprio, well, check it out. It's set in the midst of a civil war in the West African nation of Sierra Leone, and it depicts the exploitation of the diamond industry at that time. George, Star Diamonds project is a continent and a generation away from all that. But tell us, from your perspective, what are you doing to ensure that ethical and environmental standards are met?
I'm pleased to say that Canada is the 3rd biggest diamond producer by value in the world, and most notably, Canada is the only producer within the G7 countries producing diamonds. Diamonds in Canada are mined in a very ethical manner. There are very strict environmental regulations in place, both provincially and federally. And we have in the past published an environmental impact statement that meets all of those standards. We are in close contact with our neighboring communities, including indigenous communities that live in proximity to our project. And we would aim that they are future participants in the development of this project. The project will also have a very low carbon footprint in that it has the opportunity to be connected to grid power. But kimberlite, when it is mined and crushed and the olivine mineral, which is the dominant mineral, is liberated, it reacts with atmospheric CO2 and fixes it into a stable carbonate. We would like to think that we can utilize this reaction to our advantage. We will mine a huge volume of kimberlite, and we would like to think that we may even end up with a carbon negative footprint for our future diamond mine.
That's really something, a carbon negative footprint. Definitely, I want to learn more about the reaction, how that takes place, but that is really, really interesting. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at the investment side of the equation. Star Diamond is trading near the lower end of its 52-week range. So, George, why should investors buy in? Why do you think Star Diamond is a stock to watch?
First of all, the project is unique in that we have a very high-value diamond population. There are only two other mines in the world, namely Karowe in Botswana and Letseng in the Kingdom of Lesotho in Southern Africa, which produce what we call exceptional diamonds. Those are diamonds over 100 carats on a monthly basis, as well as a huge number of specials, which are diamonds over 10.8 carats. And we would regard Karowe and Letseng as our peers, and we believe that our future product will be diamonds of large and extreme value that will be the real drivers of the future economics of this project. We are also in the final stages of the publication of our revised mineral resource, which we hope to have out very shortly, and we look forward to that result. We are optimistic that this will give us a very strong foundation on which to proceed quickly into the development and the estimation of a pre-feasibility study, and thereafter a full feasibility study.
I got to tell you, the words that stand out for me there are large and extreme value. When you pull a diamond like that out of the ground, you are definitely going to make headlines, and I look forward to that. Got to say, you have a really interesting project in Saskatchewan. George, we look forward to more updates from you as the project progresses.
Thank you for this opportunity to present our project to you.
We've been speaking with Star Diamond Senior Vice President George Reed, and you've been watching Global One Media's Stocks to Watch. I'm Michael Suarez.